Have you ever been in a situation where you had your dreams in front of you and you had such a beautiful career that you were ready to pursue, and then suddenly an unforeseen event happens? An injury, an illness, an accident, and you suddenly had to stop and focus on healing and recovery. Our guest today has a powerful story of healing and how her music has brought her back to where she is right now. Let's welcome the beautiful, lovely singer and healer, TJ Note.
Welcome to the show, TJ. We've been looking forward to this day. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you, Jackie. How are you?
I'm very, very good. Thank you. Well, looks like autumn is already in the air. I can see you're cozy.
Yes, yes. It was raining a lot yesterday, and then today it's beautiful out, just like, clouds, but lots of blue sky as well. But it's still a little chilly, so I thought I'd put on like a turtleneck, but like still just a thin, little other thing.
It's that time of year where you can't wear something too thick and you can't wear something too thin, right?
Yeah.
I was thinking your story really confirms that musicians who are very compassionate about their work, who went through a struggle, actually start serving people. Tell us a little about your story.
Well, it didn't happen overnight because you're in it and you're doing gigs and it's like a wave or a roller coaster. You're just on it and it's happening, and then you stumble and you're like, okay, you just go back and you don't realize that I'm rushing, or I'm not remembering my lyrics, or my kitten's trying to escape off the balcony.
Stay right there.
So it was just not working. And then so, I was really fortunate to be around it and surrounded by talented people and influenced people that were, on this journey with me. And when I fell, they were all still very supportive. But I was just not at the same level, and we couldn't figure out why. And then I would do something and I'd be like, okay, this helped a bit, but there was it was so bad in the beginning where I couldn't remember the lyrics. I couldn't keep time. I kept coughing every time I wanted to project, to really sing. And then also I had a brain injury. So word finding challenges or saying the wrong words. So always getting misunderstood. Eventually, after years and years, and things just kept, getting worse and worse and worse, and more challenging, because there's other things with dental issues that was happening as well. So I just eventually just moved into, instead of being in front of the camera, just working behind the camera. And because I was already tapped into the healing world, it was just like a calling. I couldn't turn it off. People also recognized me for helping them. So it's like, oh, you have a headache, let me fix that. Oh, you have sciatica, let me fix that. And it's interesting because it's just a knowing, and it either works or it doesn't. 99% times it'll work, right? Because I've gone through it, so I know the quick fix.
It's just so good that you had a lot of people around you who knew a little about this and that, how to heal you. So was that the time where you decided you could not pursue music?
Three things that I do have always kind of synergistically worked with each other, and right down to how I even started becoming a healer. I think what really, I did chair massage and kinesiology, but I think what really awakened and when I really got tapped in was with the quantum biofeedback. And ironically, how I got introduced to that was a guitar player of a lovely singer songwriter, Jessica Beach. And the reason why I even met her is because she ended up using a drummer from Germany that I worked with for Cirque du Soleil doing costumes. And it was just all these little miracles were happening all over, and serendipity things. So, I would just basically started healing all the musicians that I knew. They were basically my guinea pig.
Oh, wow.
Get my practicum. Oh, my Crino. Every single, Vancouver band got massaged by TJ Note.
And they realized they were getting better.
Yeah. It's been fun. The most recent ones are it leads to working with animals. And it was pretty exciting because when I released the 2 singles, which was this triumph of 11 years to finally, wow, here we are. I'm also healing and facilitating changes on black bears and Kodiak bears. So that was a whole other rush and excitement at the same time.
It's like a newfound love you had.
Yeah. Yeah. So the music's been around my whole life. And then the healing's been going around. I mean, it started probably 2000. Interestingly enough, when I got the head injury, the major one, I was surrounded by all the people in the industry, whether it be music or TV and film. So they're all in an industry where they're in that 1% that have actually made it. So here I am with a brand new damaged brain that's freshly like ready to heal and learn how to walk again and all that. So I'm only surrounded by people that actually have succeeded in what most people would call miracles. And then also, because I was already tapped into the healing world, I was getting trained by Dr. Bruce Lipton and Emoto and Dr. Yuri, like these Russian scientists that have proven that your thoughts are so powerful in how you will recover. So here I am now at, early 30s, relearning everything at this like advanced quantum level. I didn't know failure. So even if I messed up, well, I knew a good saying in the film industry, you're only as good as your last 6 minutes. Doesn't matter what you did yesterday.
True.
Yeah.
So while you were healing, were you also singing, or did you totally stop singing?
I would do a couple little YouTube things, and I would do a couple little open mics here and there. And then, the film industry, the crews in all the TV shows would put, Battle of the Band contest. So they've had 7. And I have attended and participated in the last 3. So when I worked on a TV show called Arrow, I was in that band. And then the next season, I was on a TV show doing set costumes with Sabrina. That was awesome because that was like with an award-winning designer like Angus, who won for Moulin Rouge. So that would just up my game. That was like awesome. And everyone on that show was amazing. So I was able to put, are you a musician? Are you a musician? So I put that band together. We rocked out on that. And then the year after that, I started working, I was just filling in for the first little while on Virgin River. So I put that band together, and that was after the first surgery of removing the root canals. Wow. And that's when I got my voice back the next day. Now I didn't know it was going to lead me to, winning this trophy of the most valuable performer at this Hunker Down, but there was no doubt, like I could sing way better, like I had way more freedom. And I knew there was still more surgeries to do and more detoxing to do to get to the level cognitively and restoring, like getting rid of all the chronic TMJ. So I just kept going. And of course, during COVID, that, things got delayed a year, but I just kept going.
Did you even lose any self-esteem?
Yeah, no, it's all the time. But that all came again, even though I have emotional challenges, which is very normal with people with surviving PTSD and TBI or anything. I go, hey, yeah, maybe I'll have a, insecure moment or even a poor me moment. But then even in these days right now, I always had a job to go to. I was really fortunate that I'm in a union job, and I knew working in TV film that I was going to be fine. And what all my brothers and sisters as performers were going through during the pandemic, I had already gone through by myself, where I couldn't perform anymore. I didn't know if I was ever going to be perform again. So I just keep going because I've already gone through the darkest days of my life, and it was way worse than a pandemic.
What do you say would be the strongest factor that got you going, got you back to singing?
Probably because I really, for the most part, have always walked the talk. I tapped into this magic of knowing Dr. Emoto and Dr. Bruce Lipton's work, knowing that 90% of your thoughts come true, to best think what serves you, knowing that I'm going to be the writer of my story. So whatever I focus on is going to be, and I knew that. I've seen so much proof of that. And And it's not hooey, it's not magic. It's just the frequency of just being kind. And I would sometimes ask, I was in Toronto one time by myself, and I got bumped up to the Prudential Suite, and they gave me some like spa treatments. And I'm like, why are you being so kind to me? And they're like, because you were actually the only one that was nice to us all week.
A lesson in
Just
kindness.
Just because being kind. Yeah.
Yes, it's like energy, because I read your website. I went through your website, and you talked about quantum biofeedback. And
yeah, it's like,
is that the one?
It's so much more than just that, but it is, it's like a little shamanism and metaphysical and nutrition and all the good stuff. But just knowing that like, everything's a frequency, and you could have a good day or a bad day that you decide the moment you wake up.
It's more than mindset, you're saying.
It's like some people will meditate, some people, will go for a walk, some people will do music. Everyone has their own meditation. We've already had so many studies that say transcendental meditation is like so powerful. So when I studied with Dr. Joe Dispenza, which is a great brain guy, he really talks about how, hey, if you just stay in bed for 45 minutes before you get up and visualize your life exactly how you want it, like you're the director and the writer and the producer, and you're on set. And if a bad thought comes in and it doesn't serve you, just treat it like a high-paid actor you don't want to have an HR problem with. You're just going to gently walk them off set and say, oh, I love your work, but we're going to go a different vision. And then send that bad thought away and replace it with a thought that's going to better serve your vision. And a lot of people are just afraid to even, well, it's not that they're afraid to have dreams or goals. I just feel there's a lot of self-talk after, where it's like, yeah, but, because I hear it all the time. I hear people go, oh, I want this, but I can't afford it. I want this, but I'm not talented enough. I want this, but it's way too expensive. So I always cut them up. And I'm like, but why would you affirm that last bit?
Why can't you make it work, right?
Yeah. So instead of don't get in an accident, how about drive safe?
Beautiful.
Right.
Beautiful.
So, I've been doing that for about a decade now. So I've basically seen myself get pulled out. Like it's like, for me, it's straight out of a movie. How many things have happened so perfectly, magically, because I have controlled my thoughts.
Wow. Yeah, that really confirms that, we have no control over external factors. You've just proven that, and we all see that. And the only control you really have is control over your outlook, your reaction.
Yeah. It's just when it controls you. If a negative emotion is controlling you in an unhealthy way, then that's the problem. So just to let it's okay to feel sad. It's okay to feel these things as long as they're not like controlling you and you're missing out on life.
As long as it helps you realize that, okay, I can't be sad for this long a time. I got to get out of this negative zone, right?
Yeah. And they say with like brain damage, it's like impossible to control your emotions. And I get that. How you react to the situation is basically whether you're going to make it or break it. One of the main things that got damaged was my ability to visualize. And I feel that when I pulled out the 2 root canals and then the cyst and the cavitation, and then even more so after the 5-mercury detoxing, the fillings out, I felt like, wow, now I can visualize. And when you can't visualize for a decade, like I was doing everything to get better, and there was a lot that was getting better, but I'm used to moving a lot faster. It was like holding the reins with Vaseline on my hands. So it's like, I had it, but it kept slipping. Wow. And then when I detoxed the heavy metals out, finally, I felt like cognitively, that was the final piece. So it's like, okay, so we removed the teeth. I can sing better. Now we've removed the heavy metals. I can finish the project.
That's true. That's true. Which brings me to the question now that you've gone through so much, like you had struggle, you probably had a lot of uncertainties, right? You had pain, you had your passion.
Yeah, but I think a lot of musicians have a knowing, they have a calling and the drive. And even though I haven't felt it as much now that the projects have actually been finished, and I don't know if that's just a psychological thing of the project ending, or just feeling like the rest of the musicians in the world going, well, because I was going to go to Ireland, but I just don't know that's gonna, you know, so
Exactly.
there's a lot of like, okay, so I don't know, you know, what I'm feeling on this one, if it's just me or everyone, you know, so there's that.
That's true. And it's very hard because you can't even see into the future. That's the worst thing. You can plan,
Yeah.
but then you don't even know into the
Yeah.
future, right? So
yeah, and I try to just get my, you know, once a week I'll watch the news, get really, really depressed, and then, you know, have my awareness, and then live in my little magic bubble. Like, we're on set, and, you know, either we're getting poked and masked and visors, and, you know, but it's been the safe place to work since the pandemic, and I've been fortunate enough to be working, and they feed me, and it's a community, you know, because really, when I'm not there, I do try to stay in as much as possible, do my part, even though I've already caught the virus, you know, was one of the first people, which not necessarily the best thing for me. So it's good when I go to work.
True. Well, I'm amazed you were still able to come up with two very beautiful songs. When I
wrote
listened to
them
your
a long
songs,
time ago.
I see.
I
And you
wrote them
finally
11
them.
years ago. So Pain is an amazing story. I knew, like, I've always known that's a very good song, because that one actually saved my life, like full on. It was, you know, having traumatic brain injury. And I've actually publicly talked about this already. It was on a post that I made. I posted this one thing about, because we were about to do the recording. It's okay. I just want to play it for you all, how I wrote it. You know I have another demo out there. So I talked about 8 minutes about the story. And there was a lot of, you know, I had a head injury. I had to unfortunately give up my child during that time. My aunt had died of cancer. Then my uncle died of cancer. And I was now going through the consequences of having traumatic brain injury and PTSD, where, you know, confusion, misunderstand, people just stop, even family just stopped being around because they didn't understand. So it was a really, really challenging time. And I would have horrible thoughts of, you know, horrible thoughts convincing me to do horrible things, like, you know, everyone would be better without me. And one day they almost won. And, but I'm also a really funny person. Like, I have a really like sarcastic sense of humor, and I pass the piano and I'm like, well, I might as well do my favorite thing before I go.
True. Enjoy the last few hours.
You know, it's like, yeah. And I wrote that song, and I was, you know, working with a childhood music friend of mine, but we taught their family music in our store, and so we were working together, and, you know, we did up this demo, and I've always wanted to. You know, I wasn't able to sing at that time because I always had these limitations. So I knew I needed to re-sing all these songs. So now it's like later on, we got the voice back. And my producer is like, TJ, you didn't send me Pain. And I'm like, I know. That's a really good song. And it's like, it's beautiful. And the fact that he did his homework and found that song. And he's like, you know, we got to do that song. That's the first one we have to do. And I'm like, yeah, I agree. You know, I knew it was going to be a bit more commercial with him doing it, but I'm like, you know, it's probably not a bad idea. So we did that. And then we chose to do Love, and Love has a special energy because when I was living in Hawaii on November 11th, 2011, I did this whole day from 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. where I meditated on the song. But I just wanted the song to heal everyone, because when I'm doing quantum sessions, when they actually rectify, when they do what they're supposed to do in the healing session, they actually get rewarded with the best feeling and the best frequency, which is love. So that's what inspired that song. I wanted the song to just make people feel good.
TJ, I'm just so proud of you. And it just goes to show that, you know, you never really should give up. I know it's always said, but it's never said enough that whatever happens to you, no matter how unsure you are about the future, right? Just hang on to your passion and realize.
Yeah, I think just listen to your intuition. Yes. And that was, and knowing that your gut is your intuition, not the chatter up here. So I just listened to that. And in that, actually, like when I'm walking in a cage with a black bear who's not sedated or chained, and, you know, I'm and there's just this calm of knowing I know what I have to do and go in there. And that's all, like all that experience has come from everything that I've, you know, as myself, not on purpose being a guinea pig, but just going through everything and going, oh, this facilitated a positive change in me, right?
Listening to you right now, what do you think is your biggest role in the world?
Just from the feedback I've been getting, because I do work with a lot of people, you know, a lot of people on set, and because I just intuitively will see things and things will happen. The thing that I've heard back the most is, thank you, you inspired me. Thank you, you know, you like, I need to hear that. Like, you know, the things like, you deserve what you want. You know, some people don't realize that.
True. You're like a mirror. You're just telling them, okay, this is really who you are.
Yeah. I always like to see and bring out the best in people. That's always been fun for me.
I am sure that everybody wants to be around you, just as I feel that vibe while I'm talking to you. And I'm just very happy that I know your schedule is very busy. And I'm just so glad that we found a way to fit this interview.
Glad. I know I was so tired. Happy to be busy. It's not good when I'm not busy.
That's true. That's true. Well, good luck. And thank you for what you do. Really, what your music, your healing, your gift of love and compassion is, well, that really shows through what you're telling me right now, through your music.
Oh, I appreciate that. Thank you.
Oh, yes. We need a lot of people like you. And I'm not going to lose hope, because one person will inspire another, and there's your geometric progression and your quantum progression. I'm going to put all your links here because we want people to see your website. And
I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Thank you, Jackie. This has been so much fun. Well, and it's great because I didn't have to wear a mask or get tested for it or anything. So.
I know. Oh, no mask. Isn't that amazing? Well, virtual hug too, right?
Yes, for sure, Jackie. Heart to heart, for sure.
Oh, well, take care. And Lisa, we got to thank you. Let's say hi to Lisa for bringing us together.
Lisa. She's my special girl for sure. I love her.
Isn't she amazing? Okay, well, there again, good luck with everything that you're doing. And I will see you around, and we'll listen to your beautiful music. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much, Jackie. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you once again, TJ, for joining us on the show, and to my lovely partner and confidant and friend, Lisa Water of Noodlehead Productions, for making this happen. Thank you, everyone, for joining us, and I will see you the next time. Bye for now.